Coach, you talked about trusting the process, going day by day, and getting better each and every day. As you build off of the positives from Sunday and you look at an Atlanta team that hasn't won a game, more concerned about you or more concerned that these guys might be reaching desperation mode and maybe throwing everything but the kitchen sink at you on Sunday?
My focus every week is on the opponent, what they bring to the table, what they do well on offense, what they do well on defense, what they do well on special teams, the matchups. I have a lot of respect for Coach Quinn and his team. Matt Ryan's a iconic, tremendous player. Julio Jones, Ridley, Todd Gurley. There's just too many great players to mention. Defensively, they provide fits for you. They have their secondary back from, they've been playing with, injuries, and they have a lot of guys back now. Jarrett's a dominant player. McKinley's back. So we study the opponent each and every week. We prepare for the opponent each and every week. But our focus is always on us, making sure that we're the best version of ourselves. We have to solve the penalty problem from last week. We have to solve and improve our red zone defense. And our first down efficiency this past game was nowhere near where it has to be. So we have a lot of work to do on our end to make sure we're a better football team. But our focus is always on, studying the opponent, studying what they do well, and making sure we have a good plan for that. But we can't control the opponent. We can only control ourselves. So we'll make sure that we are hopefully a better football team this week than we were last week.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Let's go to Joe Person and then Steve Reed.
Matt, when you had the all-defense draft, I remember you saying that these young guys were going to play. You almost had to play them. Are there some of these guys farther along than you even thought they would be at this point? And, how would you just assess this whole rookie class, understanding it's only been 4 games?
Yeah, I don't know that I can say, compared to what I thought. I don't ever want to. I don't believe in putting expectation on players. Like, we have standards here. There's a standard for being a performer, for being a starter, and you have to match that standard. And so my standards are sometimes different. I know there was a lot of questions, like for 2 weeks, how Derek Brown was playing. I thought he was playing really well. I think he's been even better the past 2 weeks. I think they're doing a lot of really good things. But I think the real, the story along with that, though, is I think Shaq Thompson in the last 2 weeks has been outstanding. I think Burris has played great. I think Dante's battling through injury and playing really well. Weatherly's coming into his own. Burns is affecting the game, and many, many, many more. So I think a lot of our guys on defense are getting better and better and better each week. But the young guys have been thrown in, but they've been thrown into a group that likes to work. And so if you have a bunch of veterans that like to work, then the young guys just kind of follow along. I would throw in there, though, one thing I do want to throw in there is we have some undrafted guys on defense that came in this year. Miles Hartsfield's been a key special teams performer. Sam Franklin, I think the day it happened, you asked me, how Sam Franklin made the team and what he's out there, he blocks a punt the first drive, So I'm proud of those guys too. Like they're finding a way to impact the game. The drafted guys are, and they're benefiting, though, from a really good veteran group. And so they come out, I just got off the practice field. They come out off the practice field each day, hopefully a little bit better than they were the day before.
Hey, Matt, Steve Reed, hope you're doing well.
Doing great.
Teddy's completing about, I think it's 73% of his passes. It's third highest in the league. A lot of your passes have been less than 10 yards. I think more than 2/3 of your passes. His pass attempts have been less than 10 yards down the field. I wonder if you can speak to that type of approach and how that's working for you, and how maybe Teddy is one of the perfect guys to implement that plan.
Yeah, I think that's league-wide in the NFL, though. I don't know where we rank. I know I showed our team the stat last week that, like, 83% of the passes against us are under 10 yards. I think right now our defense is number one in yards per attempt, so we're playing back, making people throw up in front of us. And I think that's just an execution-based approach, right? You take what they give you. When the chance for big plays are there, like Robbie had against the Raiders, you take them. But, when they're underneath, I think the biggest thing is that Teddy's elite at knowing where to go with the ball. He's one of the best pocket movement guys I've been around. He slides in the pocket. He finds windows. He hangs in there. I think that's why I think we were 64% on third down this past game. I think that was sixth best for a game in the NFL this season. And that's a function of Teddy knowing where to go with the ball, sliding around in the pocket, finding guys that are open. And then we have guys who get open. Curtis Samuel on third down last week was huge for us. DJ was huge for us. And so we have great speed at receiver. Not a lot of teams have come out and played us man. When they have, we've been able to get behind them to DJ a couple times. This past game, they were going to play on top of us, which was smart. And I think our guys just took a really nice execution-based approach and attacked and took what they gave them. And I think Teddy's doing a really good job at knowing where to go with the ball.
All right, let's go to Elena Getzenberg and then Josh Klein.
Hey, Matt. I was wondering if you could take us through when Reggie got injured and kind of when you found out about that. And then how do you view the running back position for Sunday?
Yeah, I think it was the second to last carry. He was kind of a little bit gimpy out there. I think there was a timeout. We were yelling to the field, "Are you okay?" And he came off, and Mike Davis went on. I think that's when Mike had his last carry, that power on 2nd and 8 that won the game and ended the game. So it was one of those plays right before that, and Reggie didn't really think it was going to be much of anything. I saw him Monday. He said, or his coach, I shouldn't say me. Nixon saw him Monday and then relayed to me like, he's fine. He feels good. But our doctors here are really thorough. They do a great job of evaluating everything, getting the scans. And, he unfortunately has an ankle that's going to hold him out for a little while. So I hate it for Reggie. He was doing everything needed, had some great runs the last 2 weeks, caught the touchdown. But, that's the name of the game. So, we just continue to move on. Mike Davis is healthy. Trenton Cannon's been with us all camp. Curtis Samuel's taking some reps at tailback. Alex Arma is a guy that can protect and get out. So, we like our players. We'll continue to trust our players to go out there and play. And but I'm really grateful to Reggie, and I'm happy that hopefully we can get him back at some point.
Hey, Matt, I have actually 2 questions. The first one is, do you expect that Ian Thomas's role might get a little bit bigger this weekend against the Falcons, given the struggles that they've had against the tight end? And also just kind of more of a philosophical question. Do you believe in bulletin board material?
Yeah, I'm not a very big bulletin board material guy. I'm always of the approach that, like, if someone's saying something about you makes you play better, then you probably weren't playing good enough to begin with, So, I've always taken that approach, like, hey, if you're truly a professional coach or player, then you should give your best each and every week. And if you're giving your best, then nothing someone else says can make you do even more. So I think if you have an undisciplined team or an emotional team, then, maybe someone saying something can, fan the flames one week, but then it dies out the next, right? And we just want to be a consistent football team. In terms of Ian Thomas, to me, Ian's growth is all based upon him. He's playing better and better and better each week. And I think he's playing well. I just think for him, he just needs reps. He needs to play. It's the nuances and the subtleties of playing the position that we're trying to put in his repertoire. So, we just did 1st and 2nd down today. We'll do 3rd down and red zone the next 2 days. And I'm sure Joe and Ange and Frizz and the guys will all have a great plan. But yeah, Ian's a central part of what we're doing. And what I like about our offense right now is you can't point to any one guy. It's kind of going around to everybody. And, there's a negative to that. No one has gaudy numbers, but everyone's helping us produce, which makes us hopefully harder to defend.
Let's go to Phil Orban and then Jonathan Alexander.
Hey, Matt, you've had success against 3 very different quarterbacks the past 3 weeks. I'm wondering if that speaks more to the versatility of your players or to Phil's scheme.
I think it's all about the players. They've done a nice job of improving on the areas that we've asked them to improve upon. I thought our tackling this past game, no one wants to really hear the head coach say, hey, we tackled better. And that's, but really last week we were asking a lot of questions about our lack of tackling versus the Chargers. And because, like I said before, so many balls are being thrown under 10 yards, under 5 yards, not behind the line of scrimmage, your tackling really has to show up. And I think I showed the team like 6 or 7 plays from the pass game where they threw screens and, Justin Burris and Troy Pride and Dante Jackson and Corn Elder and other guys set the edge on the screen game, and guys ran inside out, and we tackled well. So I think our players are just, getting better and better and more comfortable. I don't think we can ever, understate how they just have to get comfortable in the system, right? Like, and Phil and his staff are doing a good job of tailoring what we're doing to the players that we have and what makes them, play their best. So I hope that each week we play better. Each week brings new challenges. This week there's a tremendous challenge in the running game. There's dynamic play action pass, components. There's an elite quarterback who can drop back and who has run the ball well this year. So, when you have the trifecta of the ability to drop back pass, the ability to play action pass, and then the ability to run the football, it challenges you in every way. So, we'll have to just continue to develop this week. But I think all the credit for the things we've done well goes to the players.
Hey, Matt, hope you're doing well. I was wondering, before you found out about the extent of Reggie's injury, I was wondering, and maybe it doesn't even change, but I was wondering if you all had given any thought on whether you all would have signed him to the roster. Yeah,
I wouldn't be fair for me to, comment on that. I just know he's a big part of our team, and Marty manages much more of that than I do in terms of the rules and when we can do different things. But Reggie's role was obviously increased, but in terms of his contract and all that, I wouldn't make any statements about that. In terms of where he's at now, with this I guess it's a newer rule. I guess he has the ability to come back if he gets healthy. So my focus for him right now is just, hey, get healthy and, hopefully come back at some point if he's able to.
Go to Miles Simmons and then David Newton.
Hey, Matt, where have you seen Brian Burns improve and grow, especially over the course of the last 2 weeks?
I would just say the range and the speed with which he's playing at. Bryant has tremendous talent, and the thing that he's doing is he's taking himself from being just a pass rusher to being a guy that can defend the run, that can chase plays down, that's making plays all over the field. He's playing outside linebacker for us and a pass rusher for us, so he's versatile. He's got potential to be a really special player, and the challenge is when you have someone that talented is to getting them always to push themselves, because so many things come easy to them, and work on the things you're not good at. And I think Brian's doing that. And the more he does that, the better and better and better he'll be. He's like any versatile player. He's fun to coach, and he's fun to put out there and give him different jobs to do. And he does a really nice job. And I like why he plays on our punt block team, our punt rush team. And he gives great effort on that, when he's called upon, when we need him. So he's a fun guy to be around.
Hey, Matt, David Newton here. NFL teams are scoring at a really high rate, a record rate right now, 51.3 points a game. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. If I had to attribute it to anything, I would just say the lack of crowd noise and noise. When I was at the Giants on a road game, we'd go into every road game. Now we're in the NFC East, which are, kind of big, stadiums, loud stadiums, which I'm sure most of them are. But at the time, it was a really loud place to have to go. And we would go into each game with like 3 check with me's, And I think, you're watching football now, listening to the games. I think teams are running a check with me or a kill or a can every play. So the ability to communicate is really, really significantly easier. There's not a lot of times where guys are coming off the field and making a mistake and saying, oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear this. I mean, you can literally, hear people yelling from the other sideline, right? I'm sure people could probably hear me yelling out to the field. So I think the ease of communication for the road team maybe makes that possible. And other than that, I'm not sure. But one thing I've learned in this league is, if a team gets up, the other team's going to play free and fight to come back, and games usually come down to the fourth quarter. So, we're trying to focus ourselves on, fourth quarter scoring, defensively trying to limit the other team's fourth quarter scoring to always give ourselves a chance.
All right, guys, we only have time for one more, so let's go to Joe for the last question.
Sorry. Hey, Matt, I feel like I ask you some variation of this every week, but what with the situation in New England and Tennessee, just wondering, would you support like a localized bubble if that's what it came to get all your guys and staff hotel, and sort of where are you guys with this as an organization?
And now, you were kind of breaking up on me, but I think I got the gist of your question. So if I don't answer anything, let me know. But we got new protocols last night, more different procedures, things that we can do outside of the building. So I'm always gonna faithfully adhere to the things that are asked of me. Would I support a bubble? I mean, I would do anything asked of me personally if it meant that we had a chance to finish this season. I feel really good about the things that we're doing. However, when I walk in here every day and the setup that the NFL's put in place for us, the testing, the things that we've done through Eddie Levins, through Dr. Gritter. I mean, I feel safe here. But if someone says to me, hey, if you want, this is what we're asking you to do, I'm going to do it. And if someone says, hey, this gives us the best chance, then I'm going to do it. I miss my kids. I like seeing my kids every day, and or even if it's walking in and they're sleeping, I like seeing my kids at night. I like my son. I come home late at night and he sneaks down. I mean, I like seeing my family. But that being said, I have a job to do, and my job's to coach this team and lead this franchise as best I can as the football coach. And so if they ask me to move to an island, if they ask me to, I'm going to do whatever I'm asked to do. And at the same time, I say this a lot, I know, but I feel a tremendous responsibility because we have players with pregnant wives. We have people with all kinds of issues. And so if something's safer, I'll do it. But all that being said, there's new protocols to us. We're going to follow those like we followed the last ones. And, trying each week to, if there's a mistake, somewhere, anywhere, if there's something happened, trying to learn from that and make sure that we're as safe as we can possibly be.